My name is Ethan Cole, and I'm from Sacramento, California. I've always believed one thing: sometimes silence is louder than revenge, but revenge delivered in silence? That's the loudest of all. You want betrayal? I lived it. You want a broken heart? I buried mine beneath years of loyalty. But that night, everything exploded. You think you're a man? Her voice cut through the living room like glass. You sit there in this house, this boring, pathetic little house, while I'm out working, building a real life. She wasn't crying. She wasn't even flustered. She was vicious. Her face red with rage, pacing the hardwood floor with her heels clicking like gunshots. Building a real life with who, Madison? I snapped back, jaw clenched. Your coworker? The one I saw drop you off in his Tesla last Friday? You think I don't know? Madison didn't blink. She smirked. She had rehearsed this. Well, at least he doesn't make excuses for being stuck in a dead-end job. Then she flung the keys across the table. You have nothing I want anymore, Ethan. Nothing. I stood there, chest heaving, fists clenched at my sides. The fireplace behind me crackled like it was listening to everything. I'd spent 10 years loving this woman. 10 years believing we were a team. We had dreams. We made plans. But in that moment, all I saw was someone I didn't recognize, someone cold, wearing her betrayal like a badge of honor. So this is it? I said, barely above a whisper. You're leaving me for some guy you met 6 months ago? She stepped closer. No. I left you months ago. I was just waiting for the right moment to tell you. And now, I guess I have everything. She turned toward the door, grabbed her designer bag, the one I bought her for our anniversary, and gave me one last look. I'm going to California. We're getting married next weekend. I'll text you the paperwork. And just like that, the door slammed. And the silence that followed? It wasn't sadness. It wasn't pain. It was fire. Let me pause right here. Because if you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted with your whole heart, if you've ever stood in the ashes of a relationship you built alone while they were building a future behind your back, then you already know, this is the part where most people break. But I didn't break. I didn't scream. I didn't chase her. I did something worse. I said nothing. Because I already had a plan. The next morning, I walked into the bank and froze our joint accounts. She had no idea, she thought I'd roll over. I changed the locks. Called the lawyer. Put her car registered in my name up for sale. And all while she posted selfies from a beach in Santa Monica with captions like "New Chapter." But betrayal? It has a funny way of showing its teeth when the honeymoon ends. 2 days later, I was eating breakfast when I heard it. A knock at the door. Not polite. Not soft. Loud. Heavy. I opened it to find 2 police officers standing on my porch. Mr. Ethan Cole? Yes? We need to speak with you regarding a report filed by your wife, Madison Reyes. May we come in? I stepped aside without flinching. They expected to see a man falling apart. What they got instead? A man ready for war. If you've ever been underestimated. If you've been betrayed and left behind. Or if someone thought your silence meant weakness. Then this story is for you. Because they thought I'd crumble, but I built an empire from their lies. Stay with me. What happens next? It shocked even the cops. She thought she'd won. But I was 10 steps ahead. The officers took seats on the leather couch, the same couch Madison and I had picked out from a catalog 3 years ago. Funny how things you once loved become props in the story of your betrayal. The taller one, Officer Griggs, cleared his throat. Your wife filed a police report stating that you've locked her out of the house, cut off her access to shared finances, and made threatening statements. I didn't flinch. She's not my wife anymore, I said, calm as ice. She abandoned the marriage and moved to another state with her coworker. There's a pending divorce. I froze the accounts legally. The house is under my name, purchased before the marriage. And as for threats? I leaned forward and stared directly into his eyes. I've said nothing. But maybe that's the problem, she was expecting a reaction. The other officer, Ramirez, took out a notepad. Can you provide evidence? I stood up and walked over to a black folder already sitting on the kitchen counter. I had it ready. I knew this was coming. I handed it to them. Inside were printouts of Madison's Instagram photos showing her and her new husband in California, timestamped. Screenshots of messages from her bragging to her sister about draining me dry and leaving me cold. The prenup she'd signed when we married, giving up claim to the house and any premarital assets. Proof that I filed for divorce the morning after she left. And one final thing, a voice recording. I clicked play on my phone. Her voice came through clear as crystal. He's too stupid to fight back. He'll just cry, sit in that house and rot. And once I'm legally married to Brent, I'll come back for half. Let him hold on to silence. It's all he's got. Ramirez looked up slowly. You recorded this? I nodded. She said it loud on speaker, not knowing I was in the next room. That's California's problem now. The room was still. You could feel the tide turning. Griggs closed the folder, adjusted his belt. Sir, with what you've provided, we don't see any basis for criminal action. It appears your wife is reacting emotionally to consequences she wasn't expecting. I nodded. She built her new life on top of lies. I just stopped carrying the weight of them. They stood to leave, and Griggs looked back. Just between us, most people in your shoes? They snap. You didn't. I smiled faintly. I've been snapping in silence for months. She just never heard it. But that was only the beginning. That same night, around 11 p.m., I got a call. Unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. Then it rang again. And again. I finally picked up. Ethan? It was her. Madison. Panicked. Ethan, I don't know what you're doing, but everything's falling apart. Brent's bank accounts got flagged. My cards won't swipe. They're saying something about fraud, about financial inconsistencies. Did you do this? What the hell did you do? Her voice wasn't sharp now. It wasn't cocky or smug. It was scared. I leaned against the doorway and looked out at the moonlit yard, the same one we used to sit in with coffee every Sunday morning. I did nothing, Madison. I just stopped protecting you. Silence. Then a soft, bitter laugh. So this is payback? No, I said, this is freedom. You just didn't expect it to be mine. I hung up. The truth was, I did protect her even when I shouldn't have. I filed taxes covering both of us for years, even when she barely worked. I paid off her credit card debt twice, debt I later discovered came from secret shopping sprees she took with Brent. She used me like a safety net. But when she left, she didn't just betray me emotionally, she tried to destroy me financially. So I called in every favor. My cousin, a cybersecurity analyst, reviewed our shared online banking history and flagged shady transfers tied to Brent's business accounts under audit. I hired a quiet but brutal divorce attorney. Someone who's made corporate sharks cry on the stand. And I reported the shady real estate deal Brent and Madison signed, one that used my name and forged income history to qualify. In 3 days, their new life began to fall apart. Because it wasn't built on love. It was built on fraud. And I let the truth do what rage never could. The next morning, I got another call, this time from Brent. Blocked number. I answered. He didn't waste time. You messed up big, man. You think freezing her out hurts me? We'll fight you. She's coming back for everything. I laughed. I actually laughed. Brent, I wish you luck. But you married a woman who lies for sport, and now your accounts are under investigation for fraud. You just attached yourself to a sinking ship. You think I'm scared of you, he hissed. No. I think you should be scared of her. Because once she realizes I'm not paying for her mistakes anymore, guess who she's gonna blame? Click. Silence. By the end of that week, I received word from my lawyer Madison had tried to file for a share of my house, but the prenup held firm. Brent's assets were frozen under financial scrutiny. And Madison? She had officially been served. She never saw the final blow coming. Because I didn't fight with fists. I fought with silence. With proof. With the truth. And when you've been betrayed? Truth is the most dangerous weapon there is. It was a rainy Tuesday when I saw her again. I had just come back from the gym, the same gym I used to avoid because she said it made me look like I was trying too hard. Now, I went for me. No more dimming myself to make someone else comfortable. I pulled into the driveway, popped the trunk with one hand, protein shake in the other. I wasn't even thinking about her. Until I heard her voice trembling, soaked from the downpour. Ethan? I turned slowly. She was standing at the edge of my porch in a coat I hadn't seen before, not one I bought. It was expensive looking, but it was drenched. Her makeup ran like mascara-colored tears. She looked like a character in someone else's story, someone who had lost the plot. Can I talk to you? She asked, hugging herself. I didn't say anything. Just stepped aside and let her follow me in. Funny how quiet the house felt now. Peaceful, even with the ghost of her echoing behind me. She stood in the middle of the living room. The same place she once called too boring for real life and stared at everything like it was a museum. I don't even know where to start, she said. I'm sure you rehearsed it, I replied without looking at her. She flinched. Just slightly. I didn't come to fight. I came to say I'm sorry. That word, sorry, hung in the air like fog. I made mistakes, she continued, stepping forward. I was angry. I was confused. Brent, he turned out to be. Exactly who you deserve, I cut in. That one landed. Her eyes dropped. I didn't come here to ask for anything, she said softly. I wanted to say I miss you. Now I looked at her. No. You miss him failing. You miss money. You miss comfort. You miss the version of me who would have begged for you to stay. That man's gone. Her voice broke. I know. And that's what hurts. Let me tell you something. You don't understand what strength feels like until you're face to face with the person who shattered you. And you feel nothing. No anger. No longing. No desire to fix anything. Just clarity. That's the most dangerous piece of all, the kind that makes you untouchable. She stepped toward the couch and sat down, like muscle memory. I lost everything, Ethan. Brent's under investigation. My accounts are frozen. My job let me go when the news came out. I'm sleeping in my cousin's basement. Good, I said flatly. Then we're finally equal. Tears welled in her eyes. You don't mean that. I didn't respond. I just let her sit in the silence she once used to control me. She pulled something from her bag, a small envelope. I started writing this before everything fell apart. Before I knew what you had on me. It's not an excuse, it's just the truth. I took the envelope but didn't open it. I don't need your truth, I said. I needed loyalty. I needed honesty. You gave me performance. She shook her head, wiping her face. You were always the better person, Ethan. Always. And I hated that. I hated that I couldn't break you, even when I tried. I thought I wanted more. But now I see. You wanted easy, I said coldly. You wanted glamorous. You wanted shiny. And when I stopped shining for you, you tossed me aside like worn-out shoes. But guess what? You don't get to come back when the lights go out. She stood up. So this is it? You don't forgive me? I walked over and opened the front door. You didn't come here for forgiveness. You came because you ran out of options. Forgiveness is a gift. You came to collect something that no longer exists. Her eyes hardened, and for a split second, I saw the old Madison again. The manipulator. The one who played victim and villain in the same breath. I hope you're happy, she spat. You win. I stared at her, voice calm as ever. I didn't win, Madison. I survived. There's a difference. And just like that, she walked out into the rain. Let me leave you with this. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is not react. Not scream. Not beg. Not try to fix the mess someone else made. Just step back. And let their decisions teach them the lesson. Because people like Madison? They don't regret what they did to you. They regret that it didn't break you. The rain didn't stop for the next 2 days. I watched it fall from the same window Madison once decorated with her seasonal candles, the ones I tossed the day after she left. The silence in the house used to hurt. But now? Now it sounded like peace. The air was lighter. My chest didn't feel like it was carrying bricks anymore. I wasn't checking my phone. I wasn't rereading old texts. I was free. But freedom comes with choices, and I had one to make. Do I stay broken, or do I rebuild stronger? I chose to rebuild. Quietly. Relentlessly. The first thing I did? I reclaimed my time. All the hours I used to spend making her comfortable, solving her problems, putting her emotions ahead of mine, I poured all of it into me now. I started waking up early. Not for work. Not for survival. But for purpose. I trained. Read. Took online classes. Learned skills I'd put off for years. Started that business idea I shelved because she said it was too risky. It wasn't. It was mine. Within 3 months, I had a side income. Within 6, I had full freedom. And by month 8, the same people who once pitted me were asking me how I did it. But this isn't about money or success. It's about identity. For years, I was the guy behind the scenes. The provider. The silent supporter. The doormat. But when she walked out, she didn't just leave a husband. She left behind a blueprint. A blueprint for who I never wanted to become again. So I built something better. From the ground up. Piece by piece. Scar by scar. I remember the first time I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize myself in the best way. I was leaner. Sharper. Clear-eyed. And the sadness? It wasn't there. Not buried. Not hidden. Just gone. Because when you go through fire, you either melt or you forge into steel. Then, one night almost a year later, I was invited to speak at a business networking event. It was small, local. But it mattered to me. I stood on a small stage, sharing my story. Not the betrayal part, not the drama. Just the truth about rebuilding. Reinventing. Reclaiming what's yours. When I stepped down, people clapped. Smiled. Thanked me. A woman from the crowd approached me. I've followed your journey, she said. You've helped more people than you know. That hit different. Because I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was inspiring. The man she tried to erase had become unforgettable. And then a message request popped up. Madison. I didn't open it right away. Didn't need to. But curiosity is a funny thing. Hey. I saw the article. I'm happy for you. Genuinely. I always believed in your potential. I just wish I'd waited to see it. I stared at the screen. No hate. No fire. Just closure. Because here's the thing. She didn't really miss me. She missed the version of me she couldn't break. People love you in pieces. But when you put yourself back together without them, they don't know what to do. And that's the greatest freedom of all. Not revenge. Not payback. Just growth so loud it drowns out their memory. Let me be clear. I didn't rebuild to prove her wrong. I rebuilt to prove myself right. She left thinking I was the weak one. But the truth? She never knew the man I was becoming because she only looked backwards. And I've never looked back since. The funny thing about rebuilding your life? You don't notice the moment it becomes bigger than you. It starts small, fixing your schedule, finding your strength, healing in silence. But somewhere between the hard nights and quiet wins, your story grows wings. Mine did. And I didn't even see it coming. It started with a video. Just a clip from the business talk I gave. Someone had filmed it on their phone and uploaded it to TikTok. Just me, standing on a stage, saying, "The people who betray you don't win. They just get front row seats to the glow-up they were never built to handle." No names. No context. Just truth. And it exploded. Overnight, the video hit 1 million views. Then 5. Then 10. The comments flooded in. "Bro, I felt every word. This is exactly what I needed today. She left me last month. I'm standing back up now. Following this man into battle." People weren't just watching. They were healing through me. And that's when I knew. This was never about Madison. Not really. This was about every person who gave their all to someone and got betrayal in return. I got invited to do podcasts, interviews, motivational panels. People stopped me in grocery stores. "Are you the guy from the video?" I started getting emails from men who never thought they were allowed to feel heartbroken. From women who had stayed quiet too long. From people who said my silence, my calm, gave them the strength to walk away. They didn't want revenge. They wanted permission to move on. And I gave it to them. Months later, I was sitting on a bench overlooking the coast, same spot where I once proposed to Madison. But this time, I wasn't thinking of her. I was thinking of the thousands of people watching my story, drawing strength from it. And I realized something that still chokes me up. The most powerful story you'll ever tell is the one you lived through when no one was watching. And just when I thought the chapter was closed, something unexpected happened. A message. From her. Again. But this one wasn't a DM. It was a handwritten letter addressed in the same loopy script she used to write anniversary cards in. I opened it slowly. "Ethan. I watched your video. I saw the talks. I didn't recognize you, not because you changed, but because I never truly saw you before. I'm not writing to get back in. I know I'm not part of your story anymore. I just wanted you to know. I'm proud of you. I hope you're proud of you too." I read it once. Then again. Then I folded it quietly, placed it back in the envelope, and put it in the back of my drawer, not out of sentiment, but to remind myself. Even the people who leave will one day wish they stayed. But here's what matters most. I don't live for validation. I don't live for closure. And I don't live to prove people wrong. I live to be right with myself. To wake up in peace. To go to bed knowing I didn't lose. I outgrew. So if you're watching this, and you're broken right now. If they walked out. If they lied. If they humiliated you and thought you'd never rise. Hear me. You don't need to scream. You don't need to prove a thing. You don't even need to respond. You just need to heal. And when you do, let your new life make the noise they never saw coming. Because silence isn't weakness. It's a warning. And when you rise quietly, they'll hear it loudest of all.